What's going on, fam? It's your boy KP, and I'm back with another video. All praise and credit due to the Most High God and His Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Trying to tell y'all, I've been telling y'all, and I'm going to tell y'all again. King Jesus, the greatest prophet to ever walk this earth. Let's see, what's been going on? Oh, if you guys want to do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bells. And if anybody else you know that is in this truth like we are, during these end times, please share this message, share it on Facebook, any of your social media accounts, or share it with someone that needs to hear it. What's the title of this video? The title of this video is going to be The War is Real. All right, Kim, what do you mean by the war is real? Tell me about that. So I made many references and made videos about like how you overcome gang stalking, how you stop spiritual attacks. And I get a lot of comments on my page, and a lot of times my words are misinterpreted. Spiritual things understand spiritual things. And I realize a lot of people have a fleshly understanding of the word of God, not a spiritual one. So I think I've made a video similar to this when it was on my old channel before them YouTube demons deleted it. So I'll just do it again. But the war is real. What do I mean by the war is real? Man, I'm being persecuted to no end. It's just like that scripture where John was talking about Satan has sent a messenger to be a thorn in my side so I wouldn't receive revelations beyond measure. And what that really means, like I've noticed a pattern when Satan really gets cranked up in my life. So when I say things like I've overcome gang stalking, it still happens to me, but I'm aware of it. Most people, like me, have been gang stalked since birth. It's like some dark energy is following around, and you have I remember I used to say things like, I have the worst luck possible. And I would laugh to people and like give them the amount of things that happened to me in like the past 3 years. I'm like, anybody ever heard of like this happening to a person in like 3 years, like this many events, like life altering events? Most people get one of those like every 10 years. I would have a stack of them in like every 3 years, in a 3-year period. But when I say I've overcome gang stalking, it's more like the awareness. Most people are getting whooped on by the devil, and they don't even know the devil's real. That's the difference. When you're aware you're in a fight, it doesn't mean the fight stops. It just means you're aware of what's going on. And when you have awareness, you can formulate a plan out of it. It's kind of like when you're spiritually blind, and you've been hit from behind your whole life with something you can't see, you think it's normal, like I did. You think you're a person that's bad luck, or you think, why does this always happen to me? But you, again, everything that God does, you can see in nature. You're being persecuted. Like there's not just bad luck dogs that just, you know what I mean? Like they're born thinking they're something else other than a dog, and then they're constantly breaking their leg, or every time they get a plate of food, a pet bull magically shows up and eats all the dog's food and then looks at the dog and laughs and walks off. So the awareness is what gives me the endurance to keep going on and fight back, because I know what I'm dealing with. And the reason why I'm making this video right now is because, like, I was in the mall. There was this demon I hadn't seen this demon. It's a demon that also lives down here in Colombia. I haven't seen this demon until it manifested. Like, we were at lunch, this demon manifested, and then he called me and gave like all the demon code. They like to talk through, code through like parables. And if anybody wants like the voicemail that this dude called me with, like after, it's kind of like I see in the spirit all the time. And these demons know you see in the spirit. But a lot of times it's like a standoff. These demons don't want to present themselves because, like, once they do, like, once they come out and just say they're a demon, it's like the referee has rung the bell and you're in the ring and somebody's got to swing. So this demon, it's either the demon presented itself to me or the Lord enhanced my spiritual sight to where the moment you see a demon, I guess they're one and the same. The moment you see a demon, they reveal themselves to you. It's the spiritual meaning without words of like, what is your name, demon? The moment you can look through their soul and know there's nothing there and you can identify the demon and its history, that's when they're just like, oh, you got me. That's when they spill the beans. But this demon, I never forget, we were at lunch. I think this was back in May too. We were at lunch and the demon manifested and he was trying to scare me. And he talked about his near-death experience and what happened. And demons always kind of like lead you into their nice, because it's rare that I meet a person that's had an afterlife experience that knows that stuff. So whenever somebody speaks it, like kind of immediately I lower my guard and I'm interested, because that's a very, very rare club that has had an afterlife experience. So I never forget this dude's telling me, about this surgery he had, this, that, and the other. He's got these pictures. He almost died. And pretty much when he was in that point, them demons got him. And the eyes are the window to the soul. You could tell like there's no life, like there's nothing behind the eyes. These demons start getting dingy-eyed, and it looks like their pupil and their iris, their pupil and their iris, they start like blending together, and then the whites of their eyes get like dull, and it just becomes like not sharp. No matter how crystal clear my glasses are, why do your eyes look blurry like that? But, he manifests and tries to scare me, because when these demons manifest and you have spiritual sight and spiritual hearing, you're going to hear things that other people are not going to hear around you. And in this case, it was just me and him at lunch. But I never forget, I'm eating and this demon like manifests, and I look at him and like I kept eating because I've seen so many demons before. It still like amuses me, like oh, like, but it doesn't get my heart racing with fear like it used to. So I remember this demon manifested, and I'm eating these. If anybody knows about Colombian food, it's like a frijoles con suela, and basically it's like beans with all this extra stuff in it, like meat, avocados, like potatoes, all this stuff, plantains. So I'm eating this consuela, and I'm looking at him and this demon, and I remember I didn't flinch. And he was like, what's wrong with this dude? Like, normally that scares, and I just kept eating. And then he did it like 3 more times, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then he calls me up and leaves some voicemail with the 33 code in it. And if anybody wants to hear that voicemail, email me. You could email me at ken@kenpriceteam.com, and I'll send it to you, and you'll hear it. And you're like, oh, Ken, maybe it's just a coincidence that a person calls you up after you look right through them and they say the 33 code, and it's one way a fallen angel reveals themselves. I'm like, yeah, okay. But, most people believe in God. I know God is real. So you don't have to believe. It's kind of like how Jesus, when King Jesus was talking, and he talked that to Peter, and he was like, Peter, who do people say I am? Some say you're John the Baptist. Some say you're Elijah. Some say you're another prophet. And then King Jesus was like, man, screw that. Who do you say I am? And Peter was like, you are the Son of God. And he's like, very well. Nobody could reveal that to you but my Father. It's kind of like that. So when people ask me questions about spiritual things, I know that some things can only be revealed to you by God, and you're never going to understand it unless God reveals it to you. So sometimes, I get the wildest questions on my channel, and they were like, how do you know you have the Holy Spirit? Like, if you got to ask a question like that, then you ain't got the true Holy Spirit. You still got some work. You're still on your journey. And like, the journey never stops, but you come to a point. Like, I never forget when this demon told me, you're about to graduate. Mike is about to help you graduate. And I knew exactly, like in the spirit, I knew exactly, like Michael the Archangel is about to help me graduate. And I'm like, at the time I was scared because graduating, the way they meant it was I was about to die. And I was sure I was about to die, but I died physically and was born spiritually, you know. But I didn't have that understanding of the higher meaning of I was about to die, no matter how they meant it. Um, so God's the only one that can reveal certain things to you. And when he reveals certain things to you, you have no more questions about those things. Because like with the truth, I remember I was baptized in the spirit with the truth, with that amount of truth that hit me in that light. I remember like I was dead. I was I was dead and wanted to die because that amount of truth that the entire world is a lie, that we really do live in a matrix and nothing is real, it made me feel so gullible that I had believed all these lies when I knew ever since I've been a child that something was wrong with this world. That I felt different because I was nice. And when I say nice, not perfect, but just things I would do for people that other people just won't do. You know, they just won't help other people. They don't have time for other people, or there's always got to be an exchange, or there's always, you know, some type of cost involved. And it started to really clue me in that like the laundry list of memories of nice things I had done for people, I couldn't find that they had ever been reciprocated in my life, even by the people that said they loved me, right? Um, all I gotta say, so back to the original topic, the war is real. So Satan fights these battles and he's really to scare you off of your faith, right? To persecute you off of your faith. I never forget when Satan told me, this is right after I graduated and was born again in the spirit. Um, Somebody had been friends with kindergarten. At the time I was 44. So a 40-year-old friendship called me up and was like, full blown Satan manifested through him. He was like, yeah, the war is less physical now and more mental. And I knew just what he meant. See, a lot of times people are being hit behind by the devil they can't see, and they're just being beat down, and they write it off to bad luck or something like that. But once the Lord opens your eyes, you know it's a war. Satan is still doing the same things, except you're able to see things coming a mile away. You know what I mean? You're able to see troop movements. Let me give you an example of that. When King Jesus has given you your spiritual sight, you have intelligence on the enemy. When you have intelligence on the enemy and you use intelligence properly, you most likely will not be caught off guard in an attack. Okay, so let me give you a physical representation of that. U.S. military has intelligence agency. They have satellites up. They watch all these other countries. If these countries start moving certain things around, they know they're about to attack somebody, and then they want to know if it's them. If they know if it's them, they know how to get their own army, their own military geared up to circumvent the attack, either attack first or take a defensive posture. So this is what's taking place in my life right now. Satan keeps presenting himself over and over. And I feel spiritually like Satan's under a sense of urgency. Like he's trying to, like what it feels like, what I know, he's trying to like get me on his team with like the same offer. And the offer is increasing. I remember my first offer. It's in another video. I'm not going to tell that story again right now. But I remember getting an offer from my soul, but now the offer's increasing. And it's like Satan has a desperation to try to get like it's gonna stop something. if people bowed down and worshiped him. But it's funny to me because it's like dude, if I didn't take your deal when I was distraught and suicidal, what makes you think I'm gonna take it now? Like, I don't care how much you persecute me. It's almost funny that you're still doing it. Matter of fact, I'd rather you come do it to me than do it to anybody else because I know what you're doing. I can see you coming. It's the people that are blind, the people I care about the most. It's not another person with spiritual sight. It's the people that blind and don't even know they're in a war who really need to be prayed for. Prayed that the Most High God opens their eyes. But back to where Satan, he tries to use these tactics of fear and oppression in your life and oppression of things you like, loved ones you have. He tries to oppress them to try to get you to bend. And once you don't have any fear, it's like resist the devil and he will flee from you. He has no choice but to go back, try to regroup and reformulate another plan to come back and persecute you. And it's kind of like that stare down with Satan. See, it's like, I remember when I had my near-death experience. After you know there is no death, you are not afraid to die. When you know there's no death, and only God can show you that. I never forget when I saw hell, and then I saw heaven, and was told some things and shown some things about God, and told to go back and warn people. Like, I know there's no death. So when you know there's no death, it just takes the fear right out of you. And you call Satan's bluff a lot. So it's annoying at times. It's annoying, but he also should know by now you ain't gonna budge. You know what I mean? Like, I know the game now. Like, I know God's plan. I'm more sure of God's plan than I am of my own birthday. Well, Ken, how could you say that? You were born September 29th, 1974. How could you say that? Because, like, really, I don't have memories until I was like 1.5 or 2 years old. Somebody could have just told me I was born on that date. It could have easily been August 29th or October 29th. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't got no recollection of being born on that day other than what somebody told me, right? What somebody told me. So I got to believe somebody else. But the things God has told me and God has shown me, I was 44 years old when that happened. And when God tells you something and shows you something, you don't ever forget it. So all I gotta do is, this one goes out to the gang stalking of targeted individuals, which is just really the persecution of the end time saints. And I know it hurts because you don't know the war you're fighting, so you feel like you're defenseless in this spiritual war. You feel like you're getting kicked from every angle. Your life is being destroyed by every angle. You're getting attacked. Things are crumbling. People are walking out of your life. Why is nothing ever working out for you? This is part of the process. What you're going through is you're going through like the Job story, except you don't know you're going through it. And you're losing all these things. And it's kind of like there's a veil between your fleshly mind and the Holy Spirit. There's a blockage. You can't connect the two. So pretty much your life is being written by the author and the finisher of your faith. He is writing your story and you're experiencing it. And there's something in you that doesn't allow you to give up no matter what you're faced with. And that was something that I always had as a kid. I remembered in the most chaotic of situations, I would feel a calmness come over me. Like a calmness, I couldn't get that kind of calmness if I was in a calm room by myself. But there was a kind of calmness that come over me. And that's another one. Let me touch on this one real quick. Them people that say they got the Holy Spirit that are falling out incoherent, and people got to put blankets on them. I'm going to just be real. That ain't the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is like a spirit of peace and awareness. You ever see like an animal, one of them meerkats in the desert, and how they just sit up like this and they're breathing and they're looking around? And if a squirrel moves a mile away, their eye pins right on it, and they know a squirrel moved or a tree or a leaf fell off of a tree. That's the Holy Spirit. It didn't I fall down, and if somebody wouldn't have caught me at church, I could have busted my head and been knocked out. That's not it. You know what I mean? That's not it. The Holy Spirit makes you super, super hyper aware. Almost like time slows down and you see things that you wouldn't have seen. It's like you got extra time to evaluate something than other people have. It's like that movie Limitless, how he just noticed everything. When the Holy Spirit real strong, it's like that. But Satan don't ever stop. But I'll tell you this last story, and then I'll go. I remember when I was being gang stalked so heavily that I knew something was wrong. It was like getting to the point where like, this is supernatural. Like somebody's got my phone tapped. Like I remember like not telling people any details about my life. Like nobody, like not saying them over the phone, like making plans mentally and then going out and doing them. And then there'd be demons waiting on me when I got there, mocking me. And I'm like, how could they know I've been here? Like, I didn't even tell nobody. Matter of fact, I had a random thought to go to this place to make sure nobody showed up, and yet they're already there, like the demon today. It's that type of knowledge is spiritual. People think it's like, oh, they're remote neural monitoring. You know what it really is? It's spiritual monitoring. It ain't remote neural, it's spiritual. It's like in the spirit realm, you have a light on you, and like wherever this bright light is, moths know where it's at, except, or in addition, that there's no time in the spiritual realm. So everything is already written of where you're going to be, what you're going to do, which mistakes you make, how God pulls you out of things. Everything is already written. And that's the biggest illusion that's like the biggest illusion that this earth is real. It's like this earth is a place for souls that rebelled against God. He created like a physical realm that has the illusion of time and wrote people's life scripts so in hopes that eventually they would realize they were wrong and come back to their first love, Yahweh. And they have like so many years to do it. Because if you were stuck in the physical realm and rebelled and were kicked out of heaven, like there ain't no way back in. You know what I mean? Like God, like that's why the fallen angels are mad. Because God made man above the fallen angels. And they're like, we're angels. Like, we got kicked out of heaven and we're in hell and we could never go back. Like, why do you love man so much? Like, look, man, that's just the way Yahweh gets down. But that's it, man. So I'm being persecuted and I'm happy about it because I sense Satan he's under a sense of urgency. And like, I think it was the last video or the video before when I was talking about these people. It's real. I was in the mall. So check this out, guys. Like the restaurants, you can't go to restaurants without being vaccinated, but you can go to the mall and the food court. So you can go to the mall without being vaccinated, but you can't go to the movie theater inside of the mall. Like, does that make any difference? Does anybody think there's a difference between a restaurant and a food court? If you think there's a difference between those two, put it in the comments, because to me, they're like, that's the same thing. Like a bunch of people together. Back to the point that I was going to say. So it seems like Satan is acting with a bunch of urgency. So in Colombia, they're talking about putting a quarantine a quarantine in effect for, so like the non-vaccinated people can't go to like sporting events, clubs, restaurants, churches, movie theaters. You can't go to stuff like that. But now they're saying like that's not enough. The unvaccinated people need to be put on quarantine and like locked in their house. I'm like I'm waiting for you to come kill me. Like that's the point that I'm at, Satan. You know what I mean? Like I'm the kind of defiant disciple you got to kill. Like you got to kill me. You know what I mean? Like you, what are you gonna do? Like lock me in my room? I'll tell you good. Don't feed me. I'll be fasting. It that'll speed things up. So it's kind of like it's as Satan persecutes more, God releases more truth and more spirit on you to allow you to endure. So as I see these things going on, I'm getting excited. I'm like, whoo, the more you persecute, the more wisdom God bestows on me. Like I say you lock everybody in their house. Start dragging them out the house. Start hanging them in the streets. Like, let me be first. Because I know it doesn't happen like that. I've already had an end time vision. I know I don't die like that. I gotta see many more things before anything like that happens. God leaves breadcrumbs throughout your life before the veil is raised on you and you really know what's happening. Like I posted on here, and if you guys want to see it, it's actually on my Facebook. It's like, I think it was like 2009 or 10. I got a picture of me with a mask on that I thought was hilarious. Like the same mask, like where are these masks? I got a picture with one of these on my Facebook, and the reason why I posted it was like, wouldn't it be funny if the whole world had to wear these for no reason? That's why I posted it on my Facebook. But I'm all chubby at the time. I'm like 280 pounds. But anybody wants to see that picture, email me, I'll send it to you. But here's the funny thing. The naysayers are always like, oh, well, many people have a picture of them in a mask and like da-da-da-da-da. Look, man, I wasn't a nurse or anything. And like the truth is, the joke was, wouldn't it be funny if the whole world had to wear these? And it was only funny to me. I remember, like, I got a funny sense of humor. It's like sick. Some people don't understand it. I remember laughing about that for like a week. You know what I mean? I was laughing about it for like a week. And people were like, man, something's wrong with you. Like, you laugh at the silliest things. I'm like, but wouldn't that be funny? Like if the whole world had to wear masks for no reason. Like, wouldn't that be funny? Like, at the time, I didn't think. The part that's not funny is when I see kids, man. I was in the mall picking up some new glasses, right? So my second pair just came in. Actually, I got a new pair, and then I put new lenses in this frame that I had for 2 years because I like these glasses. But I see these little kids in the mall, and I'm thinking about it today, and like these kids got masks on. And these kids are demon possessed. Because I notice like little kids don't even get on my nerves anymore. Like, how are little kids this behaved? Like just standing in line, like stand on that dot. Like put hand sanitizer on your hands every 15 minutes. Put this mask on and don't take it off. What 3 or 4-year-old does stuff like that? You know what I mean? There wasn't 3 or 4-year-olds that were that compliant with silly, like put something on their face. Man, kids would be outside, wouldn't keep their shoes on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But, I see these little kids and there's no life in them. They're just like walking with their parents. Like they're not falling out like they used to. Like little kids would be spoiled and just fall out in the grocery store over a box of cereal for 30 minutes and make you want to leave the grocery store. These little kids souls are dead. They've been born into a world of oppression that is so strong that it's like wiping souls out. That's the spiritual war. It's like wiping them out. It's like invasion of the body snatchers. That's the spiritual war. And you're like, oh, Ken, well, like, I don't understand. Well, watch that movie. It's the 1992 version of the body snatchers, the one with Nicole Kidman. Like, Satan is the god of this world. So when the Bible says that, like, he's right above the spiritual plane, dominating the spiritual plane. Like, he needs physical vessels to be able to build stuff and do stuff on the earth. You know what I mean? And like, that's the spiritual war. The soul gets like knocked down, and then you're like a vessel of Satan when all the light has been pushed out of you. You become under the dominion of Satan. And the spirit is strong right now, but I know how it ends. The Most High, King Jesus, and the holy angels, whoo, they lock them up in the pit, yo. They lock them up in the pit. That's all I'm going to say. And they know it's coming. That's why they're panicking. But I'm going to stop rambling. I just wanted to make sure to get that message out that the war is real. Gang stalking of the targeted individuals is real. And it's going on. And I'm not immune to it. I'm just aware to it when I see it. And that is truly a blessing to have spiritual sight. So I continue to pray for all of you guys that are being persecuted. Continue to pray for me. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. But until next time, fam, stay equipped in the full armor of God, covered with the blood, filled with the Spirit, in the name of the Son, and the power of the true living God, because there is power in his name. Until next time, fam, I am KP and I'm out. Peace.